I'm Ken Hartwick, CEO and President of Ontario Power Generation. So for Ontario Power Generation, we operate 10 nuclear reactors. But as we look to the path of the decarbonization of the Ontario economy and Canada really more broadly, we recognize there is a need for both the big reactors and SMR technology that then was better positioned for certain sites and certain locations to get it closer to load centers, so closer to where populations were or industry was. So we sort of viewed it as both technologies are important. We already have the big reactors, think we know how to run them well, but thought it was an important next step to develop an SMR technology, GEH in this case, so that we could get closer to some of the load requirements as to where they operate on. The project itself, it's going to be a 4-unit site located just a little bit east of Toronto. We are planning right now to have sort of the first unit operational in 29 and connected to the grid. So we're proceeding along our regulatory basis, which is to enter the licensing process and have our license to construct submitted by October of 24, within the intention that the plant would begin full-scale construction in early 25. Right, so I think on the collaboration agreement between us and our Polish friends was really on the foundation that we both saw the same vision for the SMR technology in both Poland and Canada and other places as well. And once we agreed that a certain technology, so GEH in this case, was going to be used by both companies, it just made sense to work together. We have a third partner, which is Tennessee Valley Authority in the US. And what it really allowed us to do was to share learnings and skills among the three companies. So collectively, the companies decided to work together to develop this technology and get it to the point where it is something that we could replicate in Ontario, across Canada, across Poland, across other places as the technology develops. And I think the nature of the collaboration and the partnership between the two of us, it continues to evolve. I think it started off on the basis that we would bring some assistance in how do you regulate a nuclear plant, how do you get ready for some of the regulatory processes and the filings and some of the technical work, project management skills. And then I think it just keeps evolving as we advance. A couple of the key pieces that I think that we'll learn over time is one is just the technology itself. So the technology is still being developed with our GEH partners. And that is something that is going to require both of us to continue to work with GEH to bring that technology to the point where it is operational. So there's a lot of technical work to do. There's a lot of work to do around how do you bring that onto a site and are successful. So that's sort of one theme of, I think, where we're learning lots as we go. The second one is really around community acceptance. Again, we're very familiar with this in Ontario. Our communities are used to nuclear. They're used to a nuclear plant being right, part of our greater Toronto area where the population is. And again, part of what we want to try to work on here is sort of how do you build that same community acceptance of having a nuclear plant nearby, which to me should be easy to do, just a little bit of work to do. And then the third lesson learned, which we are jointly developing, is, and we call it a integrated project delivery, but it's a way to deliver a nuclear project where you take all the partners that are involved, your constructor, your engineer, your owner, your operator of the technology, and align those interests. So we have a successful building of nuclear plants, both in Ontario and in Poland,